Goemon is returning to Iga Village to meet with the former master Jinen for the first time in 10 years. An attack on the way causes him to quicken his pace, but he's too late. Jinen gives him a scroll and the house goes up in flames. Meanwhile, the gang enjoy a meal in Hong Kong while Jigen explains to Lupin and the audience about Goemon's situation. He's set to inherit Jinen's eager ninja arts, the scroll also being a key to a treasure, but so is another student, Jinkuro. They're interrupted by Zenigata disguised as a peddler but make a quick escape. Goemon duels with Jinkuro but is injured from the explosion and can't fight properly, not helped by Jinkuro's arsenal. Jigen saves him, and while he recovers, Lupin notes that they only have half the scroll. Jigen informs him that Jinkuro has been arrested by Zenigata, likely for police protection, and Goemon leaves upon hearing this. He attacks the police but is overpowered and incapacitated, needing to be saved by Lupin. While continuing the recuperation, Lupin shows Goemon a paper detailing Jinkuro's trial for murdering Jinen. Goemon's skeptical, but Jigen assures him Lupin has a plan in mind. The trial begins with Jigen and Goemon in the audience and the evidence tampered with. Despite Jinkuro trying to admit to the murder, the judge finds him not guilty. Which is why murder conviction rates are only 99% in Japan. That and Lupin disguising as the judge. The fight for the scroll begins. They're evenly matched, but Goemon is still injured and Jinkuro makes use of the wind direction to blow a paralysis powder at him. Goemon seems out for the count, but he tosses his sword into the air as Jinkuro is about to land the killing blow, acting as a lightning rod. In the aftermath, Lupin studies the scroll and tells Goemon to cut the stump they're on. The treasure is a note from Jinen, simply saying that fortune favours the cheerful. Realising the intent of the message, they laugh. And they could probably get something for the box. Goemon meeting with the former master is a common plot for episodes focusing on him. That said, this one was enjoyable enough, with some entertaining fights and a nice visual look, as well as a look into Goemon's mindset and some good comedy when it came to the trial. Lupin and Jigen are hunting for a palace with a special treasure. They get directions from a drunken man who spent some time with a group of women and got a parting gift. Said gift unleashes a strange gas. The pair find the palace but are distracted by a woman screaming for help. Jigen's eyes are on the prize, but Lupin's eyes are on another prize. The woman thanks them for helping and it turns out she lives in the palace, so they're not as off course as Jigen thinks. Fujiko is also infiltrated, posing as the same woman, but the leader, I'll call her the Queen for convenience, sees through the disguise and uses the treasure, a strange drug, to incapacitate her. Lupin is busy enjoying the palace's company, but Jigen is ever suspicious. The Queen's charms overpower Lupin and he calls Jigen out over their initial plan, so Jigen shrugs and leaves, but not without one of their gifts. As he leaves, he spots the woman from before pulling the same trick on Zenigata. A tiger then attacks him and he tosses the gift, causing the tiger to age. Goemon arrives with the man from before, also aged, and they explain that the gift is a gas that causes rapid aging on anyone who comes into contact with it. On top of that, Goemon also encountered the same scam, but wasn't fooled and reveals the truth behind the attackers. Meanwhile, Lupin and Zenigata continue enjoying themselves as the Queen is informed of the goings-on. In his search for the treasure, Lupin overhears the Queen ordering an attack and finds Fujiko still influenced by the drug before being led away. Jigen and Goemon try to battle their way through, but the women hold the line through sheer numbers. The scammer brings out heavy artillery, missiles that contain the aging gas. Lupin finds the safe as the fight goes on, but is also hit by the gas thanks to a trigger inside. He asks to take the biggest present they have as a parting gift. The attack ceases as he meets with Jigen and Goemon and reveals he faked being gassed. He also swapped out the gas in his gift box for Fujiko, leaving the gas tanks with a bomb attached in the palace. The women are all aged and after tipping the drug away, Lupin laments that Zenigata was also there. But he'd grabbed the gas mask beforehand thinking it would be funny to wear, avoiding the gas and catching up to the gang. Not quite as good as the last episode, but it does show that Lupin's not quite as girl crazy as he lets on, and he keeps his eye on the ball even when it doesn't seem like it. Jigen's certainly right to be suspicious, but he probably should have had more faith in Lupin. I should also mention he's not entirely made of stone when it comes to women, he just has a certain type. I'm not sure where we begin in this episode, somewhere in Spain I think. Zenigata is told not to pursue Lupin due to his heritage bringing him popularity to France, on par with the actor Alain Delon. Zenigata is torn between obeying the law and capturing Lupin, but given that the superintendent was a disguised Lupin, he needn't have worried. Even so, he spots Fujiko driving with Alain Delon and is convinced that that is Lupin, giving chase. One car pileup later, we cut to Lupin bored and playing chess with a robot. He loses, but doesn't remember programming the robot to beat him. Jigen's more than a little worried, more so when they receive a call from Fujiko. Ever eager to see her, Lupin drives out on her instruction to a small village on the tip of Italy called Legale, avoiding a rather half-hearted arrest attempt on the way. He's greeted by gunfire, but his car is bulletproof. In response, they bring out the heavy weaponry, but the car still runs and Lupin retaliates in anger. You know, given how many Lupin's gotten blown up, sliced up, crashed, submerged, and so on, maybe there's a reason the Mercedes SSK is so rare. He's greeted by a projection of Fujiko generated by her aunt. Fujiko. Roll with it. After Lupin wonders out loud how someone who looks like her could be related to Fujiko, Fujiko presents him with a scrap of paper leading to a treasure hidden by Rommel. As in the Desert Fox. The problem is that it's in hieroglyphics, giving Lupin flashbacks to the last time he dealt with an Egyptian heist. Jigen and Goemon are a bit more eager despite struggling to not call Fujiko ugly to her face. All that's known is the gold, worth $100 million, is somewhere in the North African desert. Lupin studies up, with the hologram Fujiko reminding him he only has one day to figure it out. Not to mention frustrating Lupin at being unable to interact with said hologram. See, this is why Holly never took up Lister's request to bring Kachansky back as a hologram. He spots the solution while ignoring that the real Fujiko has come to talk with him, charging out. The clue is to do with the Maltese Falcon and World War II codenames, which Lupin uses to pinpoint the location in the Devil's Garden. Fujiko thanks them and tries to kick them off the boat, but Jigen and Goemon let loose about her looks and Lupin throws a smoke grenade, allowing Goemon to cut the boat and leave with the more intact engine carrying half. They dig around the Devil's Garden, eventually finding the gold. Fujiko catches up to them that night and her men charge forward, but fall into a trench under the combined weight, left to deal with the scorpions now residing there. Lupin suggests splitting the gold equally, slicing at her to reveal it was Fujiko all along. Fujiko agrees, knowing she's been beaten. Quite a relaxed episode this time around, and one where the heist actually goes successfully. A lot of use of vocal tracks here too. Lucky Loving You and I Miss You Babe, Yes I Do, for anyone curious about the names of them. But yeah, just the gang having a battle of wits with each other and splitting the treasure after all's said and done. Sometimes that's all you need. While out training, Goemon is attacked with a message from Jirakichi the Rat Boy, descended from the original. 4th generation, just thought I'd mention that. He plans to steal Goemon's family pot. Lupin offers to help, but Goemon says he can handle this. Goemon travels out and finds Jirakichi bathing, but is stopped from his attack by an offer to team up. Jirakichi shows Goemon a book documenting a thievery contest their ancestors worked together on, but lost due to Arsene stealing the prize at the last minute. Goemon's still skeptical, so Jirakichi shows him the Goemon family pillbox, convincing him and deciding to work with him on family honour. The prize, a document, is being held at the Sakuradamon police station. Lupin and Zenigata get warning of the contest, set to take place at noon the next day. Lupin keeps watch on the security setup for a while, but decides not to make a move, taking some time off, saying he'll get what he wants. A scuffle with a rat in the main office requires Zenigata to call out a glazier for window repairs. Jirakichi intercepts the call and comes in disguise, making small talk about James Bond, which I mainly mention because the English dub apparently adds in Pierce Brosnan when originally it was just Roger Moore and Sean Connery, because it was the 1970s. Either way, Zenigata's not a fan. After fixing the window, Jirikichi fakes a bathroom emergency, finding the toilet right above the document room and planting a bomb. Goemon later poses as a drunk and gets himself arrested, noting a vent in his cell. Morning arrives and Lupin appears cavalier as ever, and continuing his stance of allowing Jirikichi to handle things. The bomb goes off and floods the station. There's that feeling of deja vu again. Though I suppose it's not Lupin breaking toilets for a flood this time. Jirikichi poses as a plumber and sends his rat to Goemon dragging Zantetsuken. Goemon makes use of this and rampages through the station while Jirikichi knocks out Zenigata. He seals the document but runs into Zenigata again, who takes the document and unmasks Lupin. Goemon figures out the truth as Lupin arrives and shows them the document. It's a list of police officers across Japan, but given that it's 100 years old now, it's pretty useless. Everyone laughs but then runs as Zenigata arrives, though Zenigata is after the document, unaware of what it is besides costing him his job. As with episode 21, we see a bit more into Goemon's mind, this time into how he honours his heritage. We also see a bit more of Lupin's cunning, letting everyone else run around until he can take the opportunity. I should also note that some Yuji Ono style variants of the James Bond and Mission Impossible themes make their mark here, which does kind of bring into question the lack of a Pink Panther style theme back in episode 18 again. Never mind. Next time, a battle against a new security measure and dealing with another of Ganimard's descendants as we head into episode 28. Until then,